Well, good afternoon, wildling slot car fans. Ha 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 ha. I thought I'd bring a short video out here for the weekend. I didn't get to do my 3-minute Thursday yesterday, but I'm not gonna promise you 3 minutes here either. I probably can't do that little treat. But here in front of you, I have two Oldsmobiles printed, one with a resin printer and one with a filament printer, and I just wanted to show the difference in the basically what you should do. Filament printer is great for things like, well, here, let's just go over the cards first. So you can see that this one's painted though. So this has got lines in it, but you can also see lines here. But this is very, very smooth. Very little sanding would be needed. But you got the whole, I sanded this one, believe it or not, and you can actually see some of my sand marks and my paint, but the whole car's that way. So using a filament will get you the car, but you're going to do a lot of body work. Like there's where it was connected to the ground when I was printing it. Anyway, then you got this one, resin. Now see, you can see some little floater lines in there, and that's because I printed this wrong. So what happened was I put the little things in, and yeah, that's it, to hold the car in place. I didn't put any on the inside of this. So what happens is the car was sitting like this on the printer. As it goes, it gets heavier and heavier. So it started printing, basically, let's put this upside down. So it started printing like this. As it got heavier, so this was already on before it got down here. As it got heavier, it buckled. So when you, yeah, that's the word, supports. The supports were all inside, but they don't cover the sidewalls. You have to add those. And you can add them to the outside if you'd like. I actually want to give a shout out to Shotgun Dave. He actually told me how to fix that problem. So I have to print it again, but you know, still overall, you can still use this car. Just looks like it's got a little bit of a flare side. I mean, it basically matches. It's pretty darn close. So even at that, you can still run this car. And the other thing is I printed this and I thought was 132. So you put this one down, and you bring this one over the top. Now, if I line up the wheel wells right there, let's see what I can do without it moving. Well, let me show you. I just did it, but I didn't do it with a camera in my hand. Anyway, even with the wheel wells there, I was slightly off. Now, is that a big difference? No. Again, you know, you're building a car, this is 132. So if you're building a car, this is, you know, something you could use. I can still build this one into a car. This could be a trash car, and I can wreck, tear up, let my kids drive. So I haven't gotten rid of it. I thought I did. I was going to show Dave the difference the other day, or yesterday. He's been a big help on this. Yeah, and I reached out to George at Area 51 as well. So I've gotten a little bit of help, guys. But yeah, if you have a filament printer, you already know what I'm talking about when you try to print a body of a car. But if you have one, you can still go get a resin printer. This thing's good for like terrain, because it doesn't matter if it's got lines in it. Because when you paint it, it's going to look, you know, so like this is stalagmites and stalactites. Yeah. So you can do things like this. Terrain works out great for it. You could actually do, well, I don't have anything right in my hand here, but I'll throw this out there. See, I'm already at 4 minutes, so it's not a 3-minute video. So these are chair stands. This is the chair tops. I asked you, who's going to care? And believe it or not, it's pretty smooth on this one, if I can get it in the camera right. I mean, it's got some rough edges on it. But who's going to notice after you paint this up and put a person in it that that's a filament chair? Another idea. This is a Coca-Cola bottle. I'm working for a prop on my layout for Coca-Cola. Now, if I had printed this in the... Yes, there's a reason it's not painted on top. If you look at it, the lines ain't too bad on that. You can get away with something like that. Coca-Cola looks a little rough, but I tried doing it with a cheap marker. White marker, and it didn't work all that well, but so I gotta go out and get some white. But things like that, you know, A little sanding, you can get away with a lot. Like there's the Coca-Cola cap. So I can paint the cap. I still got to sand it down a little bit. I didn't sand the bottom part at all. I just left it the way it was. Because it's not something that's going to be a main view in my layout. So you'll see it on the track as the cars go around eventually. But, yeah. So things like that you can get away with. When you're trying to print a car, not so much. And I've had a lot of fun with this thing this week. I've been practicing all week, so that's why I'm doing this video. I've created quite a few things here. And take your time to go back and look at them. Yes, there's the Cobra car. I lost the hood. It broke off the hood, and that's the other one I had. But these are the ones from Magnetic Racing when I got my garage. These are all resin. He's not. He's a filament. You'll know about him. That's a filament. That's from a Carrera car. I'm going to put a new head on him. But yeah. So you see what I'm talking about. There's all kinds of things you can still do with a filament printer. And honestly, they're about the same price as far as product goes. Back when I bought my filament printer, I was probably just being a cheap ass. Because it was a lot cheaper than the Highlight Mage that Danny Wiley had suggested I buy. And I got impatient and I went ahead and bought the filament because it was cheaper. And I thought I'd save for the Highlight Mage by Creality later. Well, I did get that. So, as a matter of fact, if you haven't seen it, I've already been working with it a little bit. I'm actually running low on fluid. I don't know if it's even going to finish this product with 8 hours still to go. But then I bought a wash station, and which the lid's up there at the moment. So I just got some prints off there a little while ago. Swing back over. So yeah, if you're thinking about buying a 3D printer and you have the money to do it, I got mine for under $300. Well, roughly about $300 for the resin. This one cost me about $200. So for $100 more, I get this with less sanding, less work. Now there is cautions to it. I'm not going to get into that. There's plenty of videos that tell you your pros and cons of both of them. And I'm kind of giving you a pro and a con of each. So, if you're thinking about getting a printer, if you have the opportunity to get a resin printer, I would go with that versus over this. You can't see this one very well because I painted it. I haven't painted it, but this was painted so you can see the lines really well in it. You can see them before anyway, but I sanded it down, and I think the sand dust just filled it in. I thought I got it really good. I was using just hand sanding it, but you can't even tell I did anything. But yeah, so make the right choices for what works in your household. If you're into more into terrain and things like that, you could do that. As most of you have seen, let me move something out. Christmas Betty, she is a filament, so you can get away with it if you paint it right. And if you're, off at a distance, you can't tell any difference. I can sit here and tell you a story about Betty, and you're not going to notice that she's got lines in her. You can see the flaws. Face don't look all that pretty. It looks like it's been she's looking like a zombie right there. Anyway, big shout out to Rob. I'm still working on a sign for him. That was originally one of my ideas for him, and it's not working, so I'm gonna have to change up. But anyway, so y'all have a happy Friday, and thank God it's Friday. Have a great weekend. Run some cars or print some prints. My case, it's working on my track. But anyway, y'all have a great day, and I will catch you again soon. Thank you.